And if we could just backtrack a little bit, I'd really love for you to explain to our viewers what Pilates is, give us the definition, and who can do it, and what the benefits are. Because I guess people out there know, they've heard of Pilates, but what actually is it at its true essence?
Joseph and Clara Pilates worked together to create a method of movement that has over 600 codified, specific beginning, middle, and end exercises. So the entire method is very expansive. But the spine only moves 4 ways. So Joe and Clara went so far into redundancy because we position your body so differently, both on the 34 exercises that he initially created, which are done on the floor. So I do believe that's what's underneath you right now. Everyone has access to that. And because it was so difficult for his clients to perform those exercises that are done on the floor, which we refer to as the mat work, he created pieces of equipment. And there were 9 or 10 pieces of equipment that Joe designed, initially built for himself, and now manufacturers are building them all over the world. And on those pieces of equipment and the mat work is where we find this expansive repertoire of over 600 exercises. They have at their foundation a muscular engagement of what it turns out are the most important muscles in your body. They're the muscles that protect and defend the joints of your spine and your pelvis. If you are doing the work the way that Joe wrote about it, the way that he performed it, and the way he would teach you to do it, you'll be engaging those deepest muscles. And then every one of those exercises will serve to make your back and your pelvis stronger. So it is appropriate for everyone if you're able to find a teacher who understands about safe spine mechanics, and if your teacher understands how to calibrate the work to your ability level. So it is an unregulated industry around the world. There is no regulation for it. There's no control over the use of the P word, the word Pilates. Yeah, so it's very, very, very lucky for you when you find an instructor who's been well-trained, who understands the depth and the breadth of the platform that is Pilates, and who knows how to keep you safe.
And this is the thing, it's about safety, and what a lot of us are maybe confused about is Pilates is perhaps advertised as an abdominal strengthening or an ab workout, or this is how you can get a six-pack. And that creates confusion among people. I know a lot of my own clients come in expecting that. So if we can look at it from the perspective of engaging the muscles around the spine, as Rebecca said, as you said, rather than just the abdominal workout, is that kind of a standout difference to people who understand its essence and maybe those who use it as a workout per se?
Correct. The fitness industry has definitely co-opted Pilates, and the equipment manufacturers are very busy as we speak coming up with new kinds of apparatus that will riff off of Pilates, because the fad-driven marketing that drives the fitness industry is what's behind the rapid expansion in the Pilates industry. We can't survive in that market teaching classical Pilates because we cannot move you fast enough to give you the feeling of cardio.
Right.
And we cannot exhaust your joints to give you the feeling of weightlifting. And so Pilates in its essence, if you understand what Joe was about, and he was about your spine. He wasn't about your abs. He was only about your abs in the way that they support your spine. And your abdominal muscles, only one of them connects to your spine, and the others don't. And the one that connects to your spine just connects to 5 of the 24 joints, of the 26 connections up and down your back. So if you are ab-centric, you are missing the point.
Right, and that also alleviates, we will get to this in our safety video, that it kind of, we're eliminating the normal ab crunches. So those of you who are watching this going, great, I'm going to do Pilates to get great abs, you will definitely improve your firmness and your strength around this entire section, but we call it, it's like being in a panini press, right?
That's my favorite cue.
So it's lifting and engaging this way.
Absolutely.
Not crunching forward so much.
One of the world's leading spine mechanics researchers is Dr. Stuart McGill, and his lab is at a university in Canada, and his cues that he likes are stiffen and tighten for the abdominals. And the whole point about keeping your spine safe is predicated upon you understanding that there are 4 places in your spine where it wants to crease, and we call that hinging. And the places in your spine where every single person that's walking the planet is predisposed to hinge or collapse is where the bony structure of the skull meets the unencumbered cervical spine, where the bony structure of the ribs meets the unencumbered cervical spine and the lumbar spine, and where the pelvis meets the unencumbered lumbar spine. So we've got these big calcium cages, these vaults that are protecting our most treasured and our most, absolutely required for you to have a great life structures. And where they articulate with unencumbered spine that doesn't have ribs on it, that doesn't have a pelvis around it, we've got this kind of movement. And it is possible for every Pilates exercise that your teacher teaches you for you to concentrate the movement in those 4 places because of the structure of your spine. In well-taught, well-performed Pilates, we use those hard-working, very deep, very numerous back muscles to prevent hinging. And at that point, and only at that point, are you doing what Joe Pilates said, which is making your back so strong and supple that you're going to feel young your whole life. He said, you're as young as your spine is supple. You will not make your spine supple by creasing in those 4 hinges. So that only has to do with abdominals in terms of the abdominal ring supporting the vertical of the spine, which is way in the back of the circumference of your body.